Yeah, Sue is one of my role models. I look up to her tremendously. To be able to be in a room and in a space with her name, she's one of the greats, one of the legends, one of my goats. So to be able to share that space, she would tell you too. Assists are because your teammates make the shot and put you in position. So it's a huge credit to all of her teammates, all of my teammates who have been there along the way to make all of it.
Not only assists, but you did also pass Paige Wilson in all-time scoring for rookies as well. You watched her growing up playing. What does that mean to you?
Again, along with Sue, just one of the goats. So to be able to be in that space, just to see her career continue to unfold, having another MVP type season. She's one of the legends of the game already, just a winner and competitor at heart. So again, to be in those spaces, it means everything.
Was the environment around her. The spotlight shifted, and in today's sports world, spotlight equals leverage. When that spotlight moves, careers do not end instantly, but they do get reshaped in ways people are not ready for. The Team USA leak hit like gasoline on a fire that was already burning. Fans were already arguing about favoritism, marketing, and who the league was really pushing. Then, reports started circulating about internal discussions, selection logic, and how marketability quietly played a role in decisions that were publicly framed as basketball-only choices. Paige Bueckers, whether fair or not, became part of that conversation. Not because she lacks ability, but because she represents the previous version of what the system thought a star should look like. For years, Paige was the perfect package. Elite college resume, clean image, strong fundamentals, no controversy. Brands loved that. Media loved that. Coaches trusted that. She was easy to sell. She felt safe. Caitlin changed that entire formula. Caitlin is not safe. She is loud with her game. She bends defenses in half. She pulls from anywhere. She drags casual fans into the building. Nike did not choose her because they like controversy. They chose her because she moves money. That decision exposed a harsh truth that many people were not ready to accept. Women's basketball is no longer in the phase where being great is enough. You have to be magnetic. You have to pull attention. You have to force the world to look at you. Caitlin does that effortlessly. Paige does it quietly. In a different era, quiet dominance would have been enough. Right now, it is not. The Nike campaign made that painfully obvious. No WNBA legends, no long history lesson, no respectful nod to the past. Just pop culture, mainstream stars, and Caitlin Clark draining shots like the game bends to her will. Nike was not subtle. They were not respectful. They were intentional. They were telling everyone who matters who they believe the future belongs to. That puts Paige Bueckers in a tough spot, not because she cannot compete, but because perception is now stacked against her. When Team USA decisions leaked, fans immediately started connecting dots. Who benefits? Who gets left out? Who fits the old guard image and who represents the new money wave? Paige's name started coming up in ways that had nothing to do with her box score. This is how careers get reframed without a single bad game being played. People need to understand how brutal this shift really is. The WNBA has always preached equality among stars. Spread the love, share the spotlight, promote everyone. Nike just laughed at that idea and threw their entire weight behind one player. That move alone changes how every other star is viewed, including Paige. Once one player is crowned, everyone else becomes not her. That is not fair, but it is real. Paige is now being judged through a comparison lens that did not exist before. It is no longer Paige is great, it is Paige as valuable as Caitlin? And value here does not mean skill, it means revenue, attention, reach, and cultural pull. That's a dangerous game for any athlete, especially one who built her brand on purity and fundamentals rather than spectacle. The Team USA leak made things worse because it fed into the idea that some players are protected by the system while others are punished by it. Fair or not, Paige's clean image now works against her in online discourse. People want rebellion, they want disruption, they want chaos. Caitlin represents that. Paige represents stability. In a moment of upheaval, stability gets ignored. Is her career over? No, not even close. But is the path she was on gone forever? That is a much harder question. The old path was simple. Dominate quietly, stay healthy, let the system reward you, let endorsements come naturally. That system just got exposed. Nike showed everyone that the real rewards go to the player who forces the world to pay attention, not the one who waits her turn. Paige now has a choice, whether she likes it or not. She can continue being the player she has always been and risk being overshadowed in a league that is moving faster and louder every season. Or she can adapt her presence, not her game, but her visibility. That doesn't mean trash talk or controversy. It means ownership. It means demanding space instead of hoping it is given. The uncomfortable truth is that Paige Bueckers is now competing in a league where money talks louder than morality. Nike does not care about balance. They care about dominance. Caitlin Clark brings eyeballs from outside the sport. Paige mostly brings respect from within it. That difference matters more than fans want to admit. The Team USA situation added another layer. When fans saw Caitlin being left off while simultaneously becoming the face of global basketball marketing, it made official decisions look out of touch. Paige, as someone who benefited from traditional pathways, got pulled into that backlash. Not because she caused it, but because symbols do not get to choose what they represent. Social media does not deal in nuance, it deals in extremes. You are either pushed or pulled. Right now, Caitlin is being pushed by the biggest machine in sports marketing history. Paige is being pulled into a debate she never asked for. That pressure changes how people watch your games. Every missed shot becomes louder. Every quiet night becomes a talking point. That is how narratives snowball, not through facts, but through repetition. Another factor that cannot be ignored is injury history. Paige has already lost time. Fair or not, brands are allergic to uncertainty. Caitlin's image right now is durability, availability, and inevitability. Paige's image includes what if. That matters when companies are deciding where to place tens of millions of dollars. This does not mean Paige cannot recover momentum, but it does mean she cannot rely on the old rules anymore. The league is changing, the audience is changing, the money is changing. Nike made that crystal clear. There is also a cultural shift happening. Women's basketball is no longer fighting for respect alone. It is fighting for dominance in entertainment. That changes what success looks like. Being technically perfect is no longer enough. You have to be unforgettable. Paige is remembered as brilliant. Caitlin is remembered as electric. In a viral era, electric wins more often than brilliance. The fear for Paige fans comes from seeing how fast this all happened. One commercial, one deal, one narrative flip. Suddenly, conversations about Paige feel different. Not hateful, but dismissive. That is more dangerous. Hate can be fought. Indifference is harder. The Team USA leak symbolized the old system trying to enforce its rules, while the market was already moving on. Paige is associated with that system whether she wants to be or not. Caitlin represents the market breaking free from it. Is Paige's career over? No, but the margin for error is smaller than it has ever been. She can no longer just be good. She has to be undeniable in moments that travel beyond basketball circles. The good news is that Paige has the skill to do that. She sees the floor differently. She plays with control. She can dominate without forcing. But she must be aggressive with her presence, not passive. The era of waiting is over. Nike did not just anoint Caitlin Clark. They issued a challenge to every other star, including Paige. Either rise louder or accept being secondary in the public eye. This is not about jealousy. It is not about race alone. It is about capitalism. It is about who moves the needle. Caitlin does. Right now, Paige moves it less. The next few seasons will decide everything. If Paige stays healthy and delivers signature moments on the biggest stages, the narrative can shift again. If she fades quietly into consistency, the league will move past her faster than anyone expects. That is the harsh reality of modern sports. Careers are not ended by losses anymore. They're ended by irrelevance. Paige Bueckers is not irrelevant, but she is at a crossroads she did not create. The Team USA leak and Nike's declaration forced her into it. The question is not whether her career is over. The real question is whether she is willing to evolve in a league that no longer rewards patience. Because the game changed, the money changed, the spotlight changed. And in this new era, only the players who command attention survive at the top. What makes this moment even more intense is that Paige Bueckers never asked to be part of this battle. She never called herself the face of the league. She never demanded special treatment. She simply played the game the right way and trusted that excellence would speak for itself. For a long time, that worked, but the rules changed and nobody sent her the memo. The modern sports world does not wait anymore. It does not reward patience. It rewards impact, noise, and visibility. Paige's personality is calm, reserved, almost old school. That used to be a strength. Now it's being framed as a weakness by people who confuse loudness with leadership. That is unfair, but it is the environment she's walking into. Another issue Paige now faces is expectation fatigue. She was labeled a generational talent very early. Every year since, fans have waited for her to dominate the world the way she did as a freshman. Injuries slowed that journey. Time passed. New stars emerged. Caitlin Clark did not wait for permission. She kicked the door down. That difference in timing matters more than people realize. When the Team USA situation leaked, it reinforced the idea that Paige is still viewed as safe by decision makers. Safe picks, safe choices, safe image. Caitlin, meanwhile, was viewed as risky, polarizing, disruptive. Nike does not fear disruption. They crave it. That contrast says everything. The scary part for Paige is not Caitlin's success. It is how quickly institutions adjusted around Caitlin while remaining rigid around others. That tells you where power is flowing. Power flows toward attention, not tradition. Paige's supporters argue that basketball purity will win in the end, that the best all-around player will always rise. That sounds comforting, but history disagrees. Many brilliant players were passed over by louder, flashier stars, not because they were worse, but because they did not dominate culture. Culture now drives basketball, not the other way around. Another layer to this is media framing. Paige is often discussed in terms of potential and recovery. Caitlin is discussed in terms of inevitability. One sounds fragile, the other sounds unstoppable. Words matter, narratives stick. Even when Paige plays well, the praise feels quieter. When Caitlin plays well, it feels seismic. That difference compounds over time. Sponsors notice, fans notice, leagues notice. The danger for Paige is being trapped in a respect-only box. Respected by players, respected by coaches, respected by analysts, but not obsessed over by the public. Respect does not sell shoes at scale. Obsession does. This is not Paige's fault, but it is her reality. The WNBA now sits in a strange position. They want stars like Paige because she represents basketball excellence. They need stars like Caitlin because she represents financial survival. Those goals are no longer perfectly aligned. That tension will shape every decision moving forward. If Paige leans too hard into being the right-way player, she risks being treated as background excellence rather than front-stage dominance. If she tries to force a personality shift that is not authentic, fans will sense it immediately. That balance is difficult, but it is necessary. There is also pressure coming from the next wave. Younger players are watching this unfold and learning the lesson in real time. Be visible, be bold, be unavoidable. Paige came up in a slightly different era. That gap matters. Another uncomfortable truth is that Paige's injuries changed how brands view her ceiling. Fair or not, durability is part of marketability. Caitlin has become a symbol of availability. Paige has become a symbol of when healthy. That alone can change boardroom decisions. This does not mean Paige cannot flip the script, but it means she cannot rely on grace alone. She will need moments, loud moments, playoff moments, international moments, moments that force people to talk about her whether they want to or not. The Team USA League also damaged trust. Fans now question whether selections are about basketball or business. That skepticism spills onto players associated with the system. Paige did not benefit unfairly, but perception does not care about fairness. What happens next will define her legacy more than anything so far. This is the stretch where stars either redefine themselves or fade into being remembered as could have been more. Paige still has time, but time moves faster when the league is evolving this quickly. Caitlin Clark's Nike deal did not end Paige Bueckers' career, but it ended the comfort zone she was in. It ended the illusion that playing the right way guarantees the biggest rewards. Now, Paige must decide what kind of star she wants to be in a league that is no longer patient. If she responds with aggression, health, and signature performances, the conversation can flip again. Sports history is full of pendulum swings, but if she stays quiet while the noise grows louder around her, the spotlight will keep drifting. This is not a downfall story. It is a pressure story. The worst thing Paige could do is pretend nothing changed. Everything changed. The league changed, the money changed, the rules changed. And whether people want to admit it or not, the era of waiting your turn is over. Paige Bueckers is now in a fight she never signed up for, but cannot avoid. Not against Caitlin Clark on the court, but against irrelevance in the public imagination. That is the real battle. And the outcome will not be decided by one game, one season, or one quote. It will be decided by how Paige adapts to a world that no longer rewards silence. Because in today's basketball world, talent opens the door, but attention decides who stays inside.